Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted as always to be joined by Niall O'Connor. We have just seen Ezra Taylor stay undefeated to be the first man to beat Troy Jones in Nottingham tonight. Niall, good to be joined by you as always. Another good fight, another competitive fight. We'll get onto the scorecards in a little bit, but yeah, give us your reaction to that one. Ezra Taylor stays undefeated, but Troy Jones will definitely come again. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, fantastic fight. It's been a really good night so far, entertaining fights, and that's probably the best one yet. And it was a lot better than people kind of expected it to be. A lot, I suppose, closer. Would that be, more kind of competitive? Credit to Troy Jones. He fought very well. He started well, executed the game plan brilliantly. So strong, got up close. Looked to bully Taylor up close, didn't let Taylor kind of get into a groove early, but Taylor did kind of go on to kind of, I wouldn't say outclass him, but he was just a bit too versatile, too quick, too sharp for Jones in the end. And yeah, his class did shine through, but excellent fight, entertaining fight.
Yeah, and two guys both with very similar records going into the fight. But yeah, Ezra Taylor's just kind of yeah, just I think he just maybe had a better ring IQ there tonight. Outworked Troy Jones, but yeah, and just it maybe if I'm being honest, it didn't look like Ezra Taylor was an 11-0 fighter to me. It looked like he was kind of that bit more experienced than Troy Jones was. We'll go back to scorecards now, which we did in our last video for the Liam Davis Kurt Walker fight. 97, 94, 190, 99, 91. I thought 97, 94 was completely fair. Yeah, I'll go to your opinion, but yeah, just your thoughts on those scorecards because one of those scorecards hasn't given Troy Jones a round.
Yeah, that's ridiculous to be honest, and it's a disgrace for the effort that Troy Jones put into that fight and how well he did fight. I'm not sure what these judges are watching. It's really unfortunate that this has to be the case. Again, not the right winner was announced. So thankfully it wasn't a drastic kind of effect on the outcome of the fight. But yeah, to not give him a round is quite shocking. 99, 91, even maybe a bit bit too wide as well. Far too wide. I didn't score it kind of round by round myself, but 97, 94 seemed fair. It was close, it was competitive, but it was a decisive win for Ezra Taylor. But yeah, I just don't see how you can watch that fight and not give Troy Jones a round there. It's a disgrace, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. I don't. If I was Troy Jones, I'd be happy with my performance and happy that a lot of people were picking him to get stopped in this fight. But then to hear one judge not give you one round out of 10, I'd be I'd be probably pretty upset if I was him after giving that performance. Um, how how far do you think Ezra Taylor can go now? And I'm asking you this because he's 30 years old now. He's not a young man anymore. He's had a bit of a slow burner of a pro career. But he's won the fight, looked good tonight. But kind of needs to get moving. What do you see him? What do you see him achieving in his career?
I was thinking the exact same. He does need to get moving now with his age. He is 30. The talent is there, undoubtedly. He has the kind of the IQ, the hand speed, the shot selection, and the power. But he does need to kind of get moving, and it is an interesting division. Light heavyweight domestically, especially, you've got I think he definitely wins British and Commonwealth titles. I think he beats Edmondson, beats Lewis Edmondson for me. I'm not a fan of Edmondson at all. He has an awkward style, but I just think Taylor would outclass him, probably stop him, to be honest with you. And then of course you've got the European title, the Shakan Pitters and Bradley Ray. So that's another kind of domestic interest there in the on the European title level. I think you could beat both of them as well. Very interesting fights, but I do think Taylor could pick up the EBU title. So either of those fights for me, I'd like to see next, either Edmonton for the British and Commonwealth, or Peters and Ray, the winner of Peters and Ray for the European title. I think it needs to be a big kind of big title fight like that next, and I'd favour him quite well. And then other options could be the likes of a Lyndon Arthur. We've seen Lyndon Arthur lose to Yard in the trilogy a couple of weeks ago. I think Ezra Taylor beats Lyndon Arthur. In my opinion, I think, I'm not a fan of Lyndon Arthur at all. I think Taylor's is, would outclass him. And, it was a good check for Taylor tonight as well. To dig in and dig that win out against somebody like Jones who fought so well, will stand him in good stead. But yeah, for me, he could definitely win a European title. As I say, I think he wins British and Commonwealth off Edmonton if that was to happen. And then I'd probably favour him against the Peters and Ray winner, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I think there's been a war of words, hasn't there, between Ezra Taylor and Lewis Evans in the past few months. So that fight should happen. I don't see any reason why it can't happen next. I think that's the fight. That's the fight to happen. And then yeah, look, you mentioned some great domestic names. Willie Hutchinson, Zach Parker, two names as well. Why can't those fights happen? But we'll see. Ezra Taylor's clearly a talented guy. He needs to get moving. The next 12, 18 months should be a really exciting part of his career, but we shall see. Noel, we'll let you get ready for the main event now. Thank you as always. I'll speak to you again very soon.
Cheers, take care.